Welcome to another Avoca Design tutorial. Today we're talking about using Gimp with templates. So we're going to look at how to use a Gimp template to create the images that are the right size and have the layout that you require for your website. If you have special needs for images for your website, we will have created you a template and we'll be using this to create your new images. First thing is you need to know where your template file is. If we've created it for you, it will have a name with template in it and it will have a .xcf file type. If you click on it, it should have the little dog image, which is the Gimp, says it's a Gimp. Now there's two ways to get into the file. You can double click it and it will open it in Gimp as the default. Or you can open Gimp first and then look for the file, and that's what we're going to do today, just in case you need to do it this way. So I'm using a Mac and Gimp is on my applications, so I have to look through the applications list. It's a bit like looking at the program list from the start menu on a PC, and when you find Gimp, just open it. When Gimp opens, it opens with these three windows. The first one is your toolbox, which you can stretch from this corner here with the little arrows. The second box is where your file will appear, but first of all there's tips. You can read through the tips if you want, or just close that if you don't. And the third window is your layers palette, which is going to be really useful in this tutorial. First thing we need to do is open the file. So you can click on the file and open. You need to know what folder your file is in. This one happens to be in the Gimp and Images folder, and it's the product image that we want to open. There are three template files, one for the product image, one for the homepage product images, and one for the top banner, which is a different one. If I just click on the others, it will show you what they look like. So you can see that's a landscape one, and these are both portrait ones. So it's the product image file that we want to open. So we click open, and here it is. And I like to move the windows around and make them a bit bigger. And we have here an image of the butterfly leggings with a white border around the top. Over in the layers palette, you can see that there is a layer that's blue, and it says it's the white border. The next one down, there's lots of layers in this template. The next one down is the yellow bugs leggings, and both of these have an eye next to them, which means that we can see them. We can make the other ones show up, but because they're underneath, we won't see them unless we turn the one above off. So I'm just going to click on the eye, and you'll now see that we can see the yellow bugs. If I the detail, if I click the eye to make it go away, there are no pictures of tights showing. It's just a blank canvas. The white border needs to be at the very top of the layers palette, because that means it's in front of everything. If it were below the yellow bugs, we wouldn't see it and we would just have the image. So, and you can move it just by dragging it to the top of the layer. So today we're going to add a new image in here, and you need to know where your image is. So you click the File menu, and the way we want to open the image is open as layers. Open an image file as a layer and put it in our layers palette on the right hand side. So we click that. Now the photos I want are in this particular folder. They're the original photos, so I double click on that folder to open it. As I click on an image, if I've looked up and I know I want 8689, I can see which one it is over here in the preview panel if I click the little GIMP thing that says show the preview. Now this isn't the image I want because I need a portrait one, and this is a landscape, i.e. longer than it is high. But it does show you that it's a very big file. This is the width of the image, and this is the height of the image. So it's 5,184 pixels wide, 3,456 pixels high. Now that's very big because we're trying to fit it into, and you can see behind this where I've opened the template file, something that's 500 by 767. So we're going to have to make it smaller. This is one that I've looked at before, and this is the one that I want. So we're going to open this particular one. It's one of the girls by the red car. So click open, and it says it's a sideways image. Do we want to rotate it? And yes, we do. Now we get a very good picture of the back of somebody's knee, which means that the image is very, very big, and all we can see is the bit that fits into the size of the template. To see the full extent of that image, we need to press the minus key, the hyphen key. And as we keep pressing the hyphen key, we can press it until we see the full extent of the image, which is denoted by these dotted lines. So we're only seeing a tiny part of it, and we want to resize that image so that it fits within this little tiny square in the middle. So to do that, we click the shift, hold down the shift and type T. Now it's very important for this that these two little chains are linked. If I click it, if the two chains are separated, it means that we're not going to keep the proportion of the image. And that's not a good thing. So we need to make sure that those two chains are linked like that. We can scale it here, or we can scale it manually. I'm going to roughly get it down to size. We know that we want it about 500 wide, but there's things that we want to cut out of this. So I'm going to make it about 800 wide. So I'm going to click on here and type 800. And I'll click in here, and it automatically, because we've got the chains linked, changes the height. And then I'm going, and notice what it's done here behind. It's showing me how big that's going to be. And so now I'm going to press the scale. You can see the clock going, and you can see this blue bar going as it's rescaling the image. Wait for that to finish, and now you've got those dotted lines up here, and we need to move that down so that we can see it through the frame of the template. So up here is a move tool, the little 4 direction arrow. Double click that so that says move there. Click inside this dotted line, just on one of the very edges, and see how it's bringing the image in over the top. We just want to show off the socks in this case. So bring it down roughly till you've got what it is you want. And now you're going to need to make the whole thing bigger so you can fine tune it. So we have to hold down the shift and press the plus key to make it bigger, so we can see where that is. We've still got the move tool on, so we can move this around, but we can't really see how it's looking within the border, because over here in the layers palette it's sitting on top of the white border. So we need to click in here and just drag it down so that the line appears under the white border and let it go. And now the white border is sitting above this image. We still have the move tool on, and so we can just fine tune this. We don't want to bring it up too much. We might want to take it just that way a little bit until it looks nicely framed within that white border. Even though we've still got yellow bugs turned on, we can't sit it because image 866 is sitting above it. We can change the name of this layer, and I would suggest that you do it so you know what they are just by double clicking on the blue here, and this is red dot socks, and press return. Now we're ready to save this as a JPEG file. So we need to go up to the File menu, Save As. Now it may or may not have a name up in here. So we want to say this is the red. Always separate the words with hyphens. Always get your keyword in there. And we want to make sure that we select it by select a file type. So we click that because it's got this little down arrow. We know it's got a list down there even if it's not showing. And come down to, it's an alphabetical list. You may be starting at the top. So come down until you find the JPEG image. Click the JPEG image. Make sure that up here it's changed it to a .jpg. Make sure it's going into the folder that you want. This is the folder I want it to go into, but there is a down arrow here and you'll be able to select other folders for it to go in. You may have one specifically for files that you're uploading to the web, which would be a good idea, and you would select it from there and click Save. Now it brings up this, your image should be exported before it can be saved as a JPEG for the following reasons. And we're going to export it because notice that it won't modify our template. So we can export. Now the quality, we want the best quality, but we also don't want a very big file. And I'm going to try 65%, and we'll check the size of the file and make sure that that's right. And then we're going to click Save. We'll make sure that that's right after we've saved the image. We may have to go back and do this again. So I'm going to click Save. So that's saved a JPEG image of just these red dot socks and the white border into my folder, Gimp images, and here it is. Here's the red dot socks, and here's the image, and you can see it's got that nice white distressed border. But the interesting thing is that it's 51 kilobytes, which is that's about maximum for fast loading on the web. So 65% was a good choice, and here you have your product image ready to upload. For more information or help, please contact Brendan Montgomery or Jan Blythe at Evoca Design, or check out our online video tutorial library at www.evocadesign.co.nz.